translator is a person who converts the content, ideas, and information of a document written in one language, thereby linking two groups of people from two different cultures who read two different languages. Translators do this work by reading the source document to fully understand the messages and meaning, and then rewriting the document in another language, in a style that is best suited to the target audience. A translator may work alone or as a part of a team, with colleagues sharing the duties of translation, editing, and project management. Translation is necessary to communicate information to those who need it, want it, or are entitled to it, but do not understand the language of the original document. The difference between a translator and an interpreter. A translator makes written communication possible by converting written text from one language to another, and the difference is that an interpreter makes communication possible by converting speech or sign language into another language or into sign language. Finding the right translator. This can be tricky and time-consuming, but here are some strategies to use when searching. Define your requirements. Describe the project's specifications, expectations, deadlines, and target audience. Follow leads. Request references from colleagues and clients. Read summaries. You have to answer these questions. Does the applicant appear to have communication skills? Is the applicant an experienced translator? Has the applicant done any translations for your target audience? Does the applicant have a college degree or professional certification in translation? Interview applicants. Ask the applicant to describe his or her approach to work. Discuss how would you monitor and evaluate the translation process, and accept feedback or criticism. Always check references of a translator's work and compare cost estimates. Preparing for a translation. 4 points to develop a good translation. Fine-tune the original document. Focus in a well-designed format. Create a glossary through the process. And organize the project for better work. Evaluate the translation with independent reviews and keep the lines of communications open for the best context of the text. Then we can go to field testing. Translation is a skill that requires competence in at least two languages, the language of the source document and the language into which it is being translated. It is the final step in preparing some newly translated documents for publishing or printing. The cost for desktop publishing is separated from the cost for translation, although the translation team you choose may provide both services. Text expansion or screen change. Depending on the target language, the amount of space that the text occupies may shrink or expand after translation. Pitfalls related to formatting. Here are some common pitfalls that can affect the cost, readability, or cultural appropriateness of your translations. Sending drafts, attempting to include as much text as possible. Remember that text-heavy page is difficult to read and not visually inviting, and not considering and seeking advice from your translation team about the cultural relevancy of design elements.
These people will write a report providing a summary of the book's plot. This report should mention issues of style, vocabulary, and structure. 10.2. Finding the right translators. The editor will be looking for someone who can see beneath the words to make sense of ideas. 10.3. Sample translations. Editors will be clear what they're expecting from a sample translator. They have their own ideas about how the language should work or what features of the author's style should shine through. 10.4. Author's input. An author should be informed about the choice of the translator. With the translator already chosen, he or she should be able to be introduced to the author and have a channel of communication. 13.1. Literal translations are a mistake. Sometimes a complete change is required to make the books saleable in English-speaking countries. 13.2. Humor. Without any lengthy explanations, reduce any humor involved. 13.3. Regional dialects. Sometimes the idiom needs a little explanation for English readers. 13.4. Strong language. Make the language accessible and relevant without offending more delicate sensibilities. 13.5. Colloquialisms. The most important issue with slang is timeless.